XCMG TY230 Crawler Bulldozer is an independently developed and manufactured high-power bulldozer based on the adoption and application of Komatsu bulldozer technology, with support from XCMG's strong R&D group. With several years of market verification, based on its excellent performance, advanced technology, good configuration, and reliable quality, the TY230 bulldozer has been trusted and supported by our customers. XCMG TY230 Crawler Bulldozer adopts an advanced hydraulic transmission technology and hydraulic control technology and is equipped with a Cummins NT855C280 turbocharged diesel engine featuring high reliability, high power, and low fuel consumption. When working at an altitude of 3,000 meters or higher, no adjustment is needed to the exhaust gas turbocharger that ensures the constant rated output power. The control levers are distributed onto both sides of the driver's cab, featuring flexibility, convenience, and ergonomic design. The bulldozer has a long lifetime, and its transmission system gear parts are made of degas steel, which greatly improves the fatigue lifetime of the gear parts. The main key and force parts use a multi-dimensional low-alloy high-strength steel plate, which considerably improves their strength. The bulldozer blades are made of a special wear-resistant class 110 kg strength steel, which considerably increases the wear lifetime. The operating system adopts a hydraulic servo mechanism, featuring simplicity and flexibility. It is equipped with a hexahedron-shaped, fully enclosed driver's cab with air conditioning. It has a beautiful shape and a wide field of vision. To ensure that the bulldozer works well and to reduce unnecessary loss, please carefully read the user's manual for the TY230 Crawler Bulldozer before operating the bulldozer. This instructional film will introduce you to the routine operation and maintenance of the bulldozer and the operation and maintenance under various working conditions. Operation and routine maintenance of TY230 bulldozer. Operating principle. Guidelines: clean, tighten, lubricate, adjust, anti-corrosion. 4 No's: mechanical property, mechanical principles, mechanical manufacture, and mechanical application. 3 How's: operate, maintain, repair. The diesel engine shall be regularly maintained according to the service manual for an engine. TY230 Crawler Bulldozer mainly consists of engine system, transmission system, working equipment, electrical system, hydraulic system, air conditioning system, driver's cab, housing, and so on. The main units inside the driver's cab of the TY230 Crawler Bulldozer include: 1. The accelerator control lever, which is used to control the engine speed. 2. The right and left turn brake control lever, which is used to control the right and left turnings and braking operation of the bulldozer. 3. The gear shift lever, which is used to shift the control lever to the corresponding positions according to the gear indicators for getting the corresponding speed. 4. The gear shift lock handle, which is unusually used for parking, and the gear shift lock handle must be pushed to the neutral gear position before parking, and then the lock handle is locked according to the direction indicated in the figures. 5. The blade control lever, which is used to control various actions of the bulldozer blades. 6. The blade lock handle, which is rotated to lock the blade control lever into the neutral position. The lock handle shall be released before operating the blade control handle. 7. The right and left brake pedals, which are interlinked with the turning brake control lever, and the steering and braking control lever is generally used for braking. 8. The decelerator pedal. The function of this pedal is to reduce the engine speed. Special reminder, At the moment when the bulldozer travels or operates to the top of a slope or dumps the soil near an overhanging cliff, the vehicle's speed suddenly increases due to the reduction of loads. In this case, you must step on the decelerator pedal. The instrument panel includes the engine oil pressure gauge, water temperature gauge, hydraulic oil temperature gauge, torque converter oil temperature gauge, and hours meter. The warning signal indicators are the low engine oil pressure alarm indicator, the high water temperature alarm indicator, high oil temperature alarm indicator, air filter clogging alarm indicator, and engine charge signal indicator. The proper and skillful operation does not only improve the productivity and economy of the bulldozer, but also ensures the safety and well-being of the operators and the machine. The operation procedures must be strictly followed. The following inspections must be done before startup. Check whether the exposed pipelines have any leakage. Check whether any pipeline has leakage, viewing from all watch windows. Check whether there are fuel or fluids leakage at the bottom of the vehicle, and thus determine whether any internal pipelines have leakage. If necessary, open the watch window on the bottom guard for inspection. If there are any of the above symptoms, immediately remedy the cause. Check the fasteners at the joint positions. Whether the bolts, nuts, and pins at each of the joints are loose. Check whether the scarifier or drawbar bolts, fender bolts, front hood bolts, cylinder beam bolts, bulldozer blade ball head bolts, and bogie diagonal bracing bearing cap bolts are loose. Operate all handles to indirectly check whether the connection of the pins is normal. Inspection of electrical parts. Open the battery box cover and check whether the battery wires are reliably connected. Turn on the key switch. Check whether the instruments and warning indicators on the instrument panel are normal, and eliminate the problem if there is any abnormal indicator or warning. After completion of self-check, display the hours of motor operation. Check whether the lighting, horn, brush, and other electrical parts are normal. Inspect the water, oil, or fuel level at any position. Pull out the oil dipstick from the top rear of the operating oil tank. Check the rear axle casing drive shaft, and check whether the oil level is in the medium upper limit position. Also, by watching, touching, and smelling, check whether the oil or fluid is deteriorated, and whether the cleanliness meets the requirements. Stop your vehicle on a level ground. Open the plug at the top rear of the final drive case. Check whether the fluid level is located at 20 to 30 millimeters away from the outer surface of the filler orifice. And check whether the oil or fluid is deteriorated and whether the cleanliness meets the requirements. Pull out the dipstick from the left side of the engine after the vehicle stops. Check whether the oil level is in the medium or upper limit position when the engine stops. Check whether the oil quality and cleanliness meet the relevant requirements. Stop the vehicle on the level ground, stop the engine, and 5 minutes later check the level of hydraulic oil in the operating oil tank. The oil level should be in the medium upper limit position when viewed from the round window located at the outside of the operating oil tank. When the engine stops, open the water tank filler cap and check whether the water level is located at 10 to 15 millimeters under the water radiator filler orifice. If the coolant is deteriorated, open the drain cock, engine body drain cock, transmission oil cooler drain cock, and engine oil cooler drain cock to drain the water. When refilling, close the above drain cocks and refill the fluid from the filler orifice on the top of the water tank. Please check whether the thrust wheel, track supporting wheel, and guide wheel have any leakage. Fuel check. The fuel tank shall at least contain enough fuel for a working shift. Since diesel fuel contains certain quantities of moisture and other impurities, regularly open the ball valve at the bottom of the fuel tank to drain out the water and deposits. Then, open the drain knob located under the diesel fuel filter at the left side of the diesel engine for draining the water, and tighten the knob after draining out. Conduct the necessary inspection of belt tightness at the front of the engine in order to prevent the belt from slipping, which may result in the earlier wear of belt, in the belt pulley, and even mechanical failure. Cleaning the air filter. Pull out the element from the air filter. Blow off the filter element from the inside to the outside with compressed air, and then reinstall it into the air filter housing. Seat adjustment. For the purpose of more comfortable operation, the operator shall adjust the seat to the most appropriate comfort position. The startup of the diesel engine. The machine can start only after all of the above-mentioned inspections are done. The startup of the diesel engine is done by the operator in the cab. Before startup, 1. Push the accelerator control lever to its minimum position. 2. Lock the brake pedal. 3. Place the gear shift control lever into the neutral gear. 4. Place the blade onto the ground and lock it. 5. Insert the key into the switch and rotate it to turn on the electrical system. 6. Keep turning the key switch to its start position to start the diesel engine. 7. Immediately release the key after the diesel engine starts. 8. Operate the diesel engine at low speed for 3 to 5 minutes. After the engine begins to warm up, the engine is ready to begin work. Caution! Before starting the engine, press the horn once to remind anybody lingering nearby to immediately leave the working area or hazardous area. Do not keep the key on the start position for more than 5 to 7 seconds. Wait 2 minutes or more before trying to restart the diesel engine. If the diesel engine does not start after 5 continuous tries, check whether the starting conditions are met. Routine inspection after starting. Check the charge indicator after starting the engine. In this case, the indicator shall display green. If it turns off, it shows that the alternator is not generating power. Stop the engine for troubleshooting. Check the engine oil pressure gauge. It should be in the normal position. A low or high pressure will result in the illumination of the oil pressure alarm indicator. If it shows there is a problem, stop the engine for troubleshooting. Check whether other instruments work normally and whether their alarm indicators are giving any warning signals. When the engine starts and is operating, check whether the exhaust smoke is a normal color. Listen and check whether there is abnormal sound. Listen to all cylinders of the engine and check whether they are working normally. Parking of a bulldozer. Turn the key switch to the off position to shut off the engine. To fully lubricate and cool the turbocharger, operate the diesel engine at idle speed for about 2 minutes before stopping the engine. After stopping your vehicle, quickly turn off the fuel switch located at the left side of the engine in order to prevent the fuel from mixing into the engine oil and diluting the oil, which may result in the occurrence of mechanical failure in the engine. Experience. When stopping the vehicle, check the engine crankshaft before the vehicle stably stops. The crankshaft shall reciprocate normally and reversely several times and then stop stably. If the crankshaft immediately stops and the engine body has greater vibration at the same time, it indicates that this may already be resulting in failure. In winter, when your vehicle stops in a cold garage, stop the vehicle and wait until the temperature falls down. Open the drain cock and drain out the cooling water. Getting started. 1. Pull the accelerator control lever to the rear to accelerate the engine speed. 2. Release the lock switch of the blade control handle and lift the blade to the height of 400 to 500 millimeters over the ground. 3. Step on the middle part of the right and left brake pedals. Push the brake lock handle to the unlock position. and then release the brake pedals. Step on the decelerator pedal when getting started. Reduce the engine speed to alleviate the impact. 4. Push the gear shift lock handle to the unlock position. 5. Push the gear shift control lever into the required gear position to start the bulldozer. Caution: when starting the vehicle on a sharp slope, step on and keep down the brake pedal. Push the gear shift control lever into the first gear and slowly release the brake pedal when the bulldozer is starting. Gear shift. Push the gear shift control lever into the required gear position for shifting the gear without stopping the vehicle. A special reminder: applicable range of gears. First gear is for climbing and dozing operations. Second and third gears are for traveling. Forward and reverse gear shift. When gear shifting between the forward and reverse gear, step on the decelerator pedal and shift gears after decelerating. Turning. 1. Pull backwards the steering and braking control lever, which is used to turn the vehicle to one side, to about half a travel, and then the bulldozer will slowly turn to this side. 2. If the steering and braking control lever is pulled to its end, the bulldozer will spot turn. Turning while going down a slope. 1. When the bulldozer is going down a sharp slope with its own gravity, or it is going down a slope and turning with the tractor, special attention shall be given so that the bulldozer will turn to the other side when one side of the steering and braking control lever is pulled to about halfway. 2. Since the side slope easily enables a bulldozer to create the transverse sliding, avoid the turning on the side slope as much as possible. In addition, turning on a soft or clay ground is also prohibited. 3. Do not turn at high speeds. Turning right and left slowly while going down a slope. When the grading of a slope is insufficient to enable a bulldozer to slide downwards with its own gravity the same as the turning on a level ground, i.e., when the left or right steering and braking control lever is pulled halfway, the bulldozer will slowly turn to the left or right. Spot turning to left or right. When the left or right steering and braking control lever is pulled backwards to the end of its travel, the bulldozer will spot turn to the left or right. Parking. 1. Push the accelerator control lever forward to make the engine operate at idle speed. 2. Push the gear shift control lever to the neutral gear position. 3. Step on the middle position of the brake pedal and lock the brake with its lock handle after the brake engages. 4. Lock the gear shift control lever with the gear shift lock handle. 5. Operate the blade control lever to lower the blade onto the ground. 6. Lock the blade control lever with the lock handle. 7. Stop the engine according to the engine control rules. Stop the vehicle on a flat and solid ground surface. Special reminder: if the vehicle has to unavoidably stop on a slope, the front of the vehicle shall face down the slope and the brake pedal shall be locked. The braking must be done before the engine shuts off and the brakes must be engaged. If it is a slope of greater gradient, the blade shall slightly spade in order to avoid the bulldozer from sliding downwards. Operation of bulldozer blade. 1. Pull the control handle backwards to lift the blade. 2. Place the control lever onto the central position to keep the blade in the hold state, i.e., enable the blade to stop and keep it onto the immobility position. 3. Push the control lever forwards to first gear to lower down the blade. 4. Push the control lever forwards to the second gear to enable the blade to be in the floating state. When the blade is in the floating position, the hydraulic oil in 2 chambers of the hydraulic oil cylinder is closely linked, and the blade can freely move as the change of force. 5. Right tilting. Push the control lever to the right. In this case, the right side of the bulldozer blade moves downwards, and its left side moves upwards. 6. Left tilting. Push the control lever to the left. In this case, the left side of the bulldozer blade moves downwards and its right side moves upwards. In case of tilting operation, if the tilt cylinder piston gets to the extreme end of its travel, return the control lever as quickly as possible to the hold position. When the blade is in its maximum or minimum position, please do not implement the tilting operation. Maintenance of TY230 Bulldozer in case of 250 hours service lifetime. Check and refill the rear axle casing transmission oil. If the rear axle casing transmission oil is insufficient, refill it immediately. If the oil is deteriorated, replace it. If it is dirty, filter it under the allowable conditions. In case of replacement, drain out the transmission oil from the drain outlet at the bottom of the rear axle casing and the drain outlet at the bottom of the hydraulic torque converter. Then, clean the magnetic plug and the hydraulic torque converter oil return filter element. And pull out the element from the gear shift and steering strainers for cleaning. Replace the gear shift strainer and steering strainer elements. After replacement, start the engine. Release the air bleeder valve and tighten it when the oil overflows. Then, refill the clean number 6 hydraulic transmission oil via the filler orifice on the rear axle casing. Check the oil level in the final drive case and refill. If the final drive case is short of oil, refill it. If the oil is deteriorated, replace it. In case of replacement, open the drain plug at the lower inside of the final drive case. Drain out the gear oil and then reinstall the drain plug. Refill the clean 80-watt heavy-duty vehicle gear oil from the filler orifice on the top. Replace the oil in the engine oil sump. Open the oil plug under the engine, drain the oil, reinstall the drain plug, then refill with oil. Replace the oil filter at the right side of the engine. Then, refill the Class 15-watt CF diesel engine oil to the specified level via the filler orifice at the left side of the engine. Replace the fuel filter. Refill the lubricant into the fan belt pulley. Check and adjust the tightness of the engine belt and other belts. Check and tighten the track plate bolts. The use of the TY230 Bulldozer within 250 hours is a run-in process. Do not do any heavy load bulldozing operations. Continuously increase load to ensure that all components of the equipment are working reliably. Precautions on maintenance in case of 500-hour service lifetime. Replace the engine preservative reservoir and close the inlet and outlet valves. Apply the engine oil on the sealing surface and replace with the new component. Remove the containments timely from the upper plane of the rear axle case to ensure that the rear axle case breather and the final drive case breather are unclogged. If necessary, remove the breathers for cleaning. For the rest, maintenance is done according to the 250-hour service lifetime maintenance procedure. Precautions on check and maintenance at 1,000-hour service lifetime. Clean or replace the oil return filter element of gear shift or steering strainers and hydraulic torque converter. Replace the gear shift strainer, steering strainer, working oil filer and their elements. Replace the transmission oil in the rear axle case, torque converter and transmission, and the gear oil in the final drive case. Refill the lubricant into the half shaft bearing, universal joint, and other parts. For the rest, the maintenance is done according to the 250-hour and 500-hour service lifetime maintenance procedure. Maintenance and care of the TY230 Bulldozer in the dusty operating environment, such as the desert, ash yard, coal storage yard, and so on. The air filter must be kept clean, otherwise it may easily result in earlier wear of the engine. The daily blowing and cleaning of air filter elements shall be observed, and regular replacement of air filter elements shall be done. Our company's air filter is required so as to ensure the quality of the air filtration. Timely clean the upper plane of the rear axle case so as to ensure the smooth and free flow of air from the rear axle case and the final drive case to the atmosphere. Timely remove any falling objects from the bottom guard to avoid falling objects from depositing onto the engine and oil sump, which may result in a high temperature of the engine. Timely check the cleanliness of the transmission oil and engine oil and replace it if necessary. Maintenance and care of the TY230 Bulldozer under the construction conditions in solid earth and stone sites. Check and tighten the track bolts and nuts. Timely tighten the track, open the filler cap on the middle segment of the bogie when tightening the track. Tighten the track with the oil injector and move the complete machine forwards and backwards during tightening. Refill the lubricant into the equalizer beam pin shaft via the grease cup on the left side of the engine and the upper inside of the frame. Refill the lubricant into all the pin shafts of the working equipment, joints, and lift cylinder bearing caps. Our company persists in the service policy of meeting the customer's demand, keeping customers moving, and we do our best to develop the service and guaranteed work of military products. For these products, we implement the system of 1-year warranty, permanent maintenance and repair, professional technical training, periodic in-process inquiry inspection, and 24-hour quick service in order to meet the demands of the armed forces.